So I wanted to jump on really quick. I've been teaching a Bible journaling class as part of my small groups for my church, and this is a new one that I'm working on. And right here I've used, so far, I've used my watercolor crayons, which I really like from Stampin' Up. I have two different sets with different colors in them, but they seem to just kind of be smooth on the page. I just really like the way they look, and they don't bleed, so they don't really make a mess or anything. And then I'm going to be using this funfetti that I downloaded offline. It was by Sugar House Mama, and I have downloaded this, and then I'm going to be decorating these and use some of these words on this page. So that's what I'm working on, and I will continue to post some pictures as I get some stuff done. Right here I'm taking, I just picked a few colors of my crayons, and I have done just some coloring on here. And since they're watercolor, I'm just using a paintbrush, just a little flat paintbrush and some water. And I cut my water bottles to use water. That's just easiest for me. I'm not really liking so much the way that these are coming together, the color wise. So I'm going to let it dry a little bit, and then I'm going to try to add some more. It's just like the yellow is like taking over the green. So I want to make sure that there's a little bit darker green. So I may need to go back with a different green and make sure that that's picking up that color. So anyway, I just wanted to share this process. This is what my page has now turned into. I added some more green and some blues. It kind of looks a little purple, but I used a darker blue. It's actually the Brilliant Blue, but it does kind of look a little more purple. But what I ended up doing, I wanted some colors to just kind of mix together and not be like solid on some of the words that I'm going to be using. So I just took my crayon on my craft sheet and just kind of colored, and then just kind of picked up with a wet brush and just kind of went in and kind of added some color in there. And where I wanted some brighter yellow, I did the same thing with the yellow. I just kind of picked up more and then just kind of went in and made it a little brighter. And if you get too much color in one spot, you can always add a little bit more water. I'll show you like right here, and it'll just take it off. And then if you want to put a different color in there, then you'll just go in and put more color. So now I'm going to let this dry. And the one thing that I didn't mention was the first thing I did with this sheet is this is just run off on just regular copy paper. So the first thing I did was I let it dry for like a day before I touched it. I've tried several different times with regular paper, and for some reason it would smudge because I guess of the type of printer that I have. But so I let it dry overnight, and then I wanted to use a couple of different words that were not on here, so I found a type, like you can see, self-control, kindness, gentleness are different than the rest of them. They're pretty close. I found one of my fonts that was really close, so I just changed out a couple of words that I wanted to use. So then I took this regular sheet of paper and I put gesso all over it, and I just used this Liquitex gesso and just went all over the paper and let it dry really good before I started using my crayons. Okay, so now I'm just going to let this dry, and then I'll be back to finish it up, and it's going to go with this page right here. And I'm working on Galatians is my verse that I'm working on. Okay, so the next thing I did was when this was completely dry, all the way dry, if you look at it, it's kind of got a little sheen to it, so it's really kind of pretty. I don't know if you can see that or not very much. But I literally went in and just took the words that I was going to use on this page and cut out those words. And they are going to be over here, and I've got them lined up. The verse that I'm using is Galatians 5:22. I don't think I said that a while ago. I just said Galatians. But it's the fruit of the Spirit is love, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, and faithfulness. So some of these, it also says gentleness, self-control. Against such things there is no law. That's the verse. So I'm using love, joy, peace, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Those are the words that I'm using on here. So these are just cut pieces, and what I'll do now is I'll go in with some of my Mod Podge and just glue those down on here. Then I'll do my writing, the fruit of the Spirit is, and finish this page up. Okay, so I'm going to use my Mod Podge in here, and I just use a foam brush. Not too much. And I'm just literally going to go over this pair that I've got. Try not to wrinkle this page too much. Okay. Then I'm going to go in and stick my words down. It bothers some people to cover up the actual, well, it's going to stick on me a little bit. Sometimes it bothers people to cover up their words in their Bible, but I don't really mind it because this is not actually the Bible that I read out of. This is just my journaling Bible. So I don't mind that it covers up some of the words. So I'm just going to continue to stick these down. And I'll let it get a little bit dry, so let me stick just a little bit more down there. And they kind of went a little further down than I wanted them to. But that's okay. They'll be okay. So once I get those all laid down, I'm just going to go back over them just to make sure that they stay down good. Okay, now once this dries, I'll be able to finish up by using my pen and just write in here. And then of course I'll put the verse here, and you can see I've already highlighted it in my Bible. And then I will use the date stamp. So I've written on here that the fruit of the Spirit is in my leaf. You can tell this is already dry and it's really shiny. I like that. And down here in the corner, I'm just going to write Galatians 5:22. Some people don't like their handwriting, and you know, you can always use other like stickers or stamps, letter stamps, or whatever. But this is not, it's not supposed to be like a total perfection. It's just supposed to be about getting inside the Word and spending time in God's Word and just really letting His Word sink down into you, and just, you know, being able to just connect with what you're working on. So I don't really worry too much about, oh, my handwriting is too close together right here and it just doesn't look like I wanted it to. I mean, there are some pages I go back and I'll look at and think, oh, I wish it was different. But overall, I've spent time just reading and focusing on these words and focusing on the verse and spending time in the Word. So that's the most important part. So anyway, I hope that you have learned something from this. And I will post some more on another day. Thanks for watching.